up expert-led seminars that simplify the complex world of tax, line, and deed investments, transforming confusion into clear action steps. Next, enjoy the tailored guidance from seasoned professionals who empower every financial choice. Last but not least, we also offer an on-demand educational treasures offer, flexibility. Learn anywhere, anytime, at your own pace. Make each investment count and unlock potential with alternative real estate investment seminars. Elevate your journey today. Success is just a click away.
All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Secure Your Energy. Your host, Lady Lashley. And we're here every Wednesday. Excuse me, I'm still putting my lip gloss on, y'all. I do apologize for the delay. We're here every Wednesday at the Fulton County Public Library on Adams Street. The Adams branch, I do apologize, on Hamilton Road in Atlanta. So if you don't know who I am or what I do, every Wednesday I'm live here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're talking about economic development for leaders, okay? We have been partnering with the Fulton County Library District, giving these free seminars every Wednesday at 2 p.m. We start off with the basic. We're just going to give you a flashback because we're moving into phase 3 of this seminar already, guys, action-packed. So the first set of seminars that we offered was based on, you can find these videos. One is assets versus liability, and this is for the people who are just getting into understanding what economic development is. Maybe they needed some key actionable information to figure out how to move forward, okay? Stretching every dollar, we went into that. Building a legacy, what does it mean? It's not only about acquiring money, but it's setting goals, setting standards, setting values in your family and your kids, getting them ready to move forward and receive that generational wealth and make it bubble up. Remember, assets is not just physical things. Assets is what's in your mind, the thing that they cannot take away from you, okay? Hit the like button if you like what I'm talking about here. So within the economic development seminar that we have always here, the first series also encompassed preparing to win. What does that mean? Essential skills to master before diving into an investment in the market. We wanted to make sure that you had the right mindset. What are the things that we got to look for? What type of mindset do I have to have when it comes to saving, budgeting, financing? What is a business plan? Which one works for me? Researching, just a little few things. The mindset, we had to get that mindset to go together, highlighting that we were structurizing that at home, making sure that our home life was taken care of, our bills was paid for, because if we were able to budget and save at home, we were able to budget and save enough to get our startup company good and going. Mind over matter. Then we went into creating leverages through asset acquisition. Basically, reminding you guys of how important it is that even if you're going to open a business, it is important to acquire assets. And that's not always easy. It's easier said than done. But we have a method that may help you guys acquire property, and that's what today we're going to be talking about in phase 3, okay? But we will see here about the importance of assets, what type of assets, and how to leverage what you have already to maybe enhance your marketability in your company, your borrowing power. And then we finished off in the first session with 4 keys to building a business that secures assets for investments, okay? And that business encompasses having a great business plan. And that business plan actually highlighted some of the plans to acquire assets, because guess what? That business plan that you will be using now is a business plan that you'll continue to enhance throughout the life of your true physical business, as well as you're going to use that to represent your business as though it's a portfolio, as though it is your now, then, and future, okay? And we show you how to build on that. So we went into phase 2. This season I actually jumped into phase 2 a little bit faster because we had some attendees that was a little bit more advanced, and they were talking about, they had a group of people who were interested in investing in their property, but every time they went to go invest in property as a group within their community, they were basically feeling like they were getting shucked and died. That the lender would say, hey, you don't have enough credentials, you don't have enough this, enough that. And it was something that was always missing. Also, they mentioned that it was a learning curve, the learning curve of the things that you need to be a successful property investor. Everybody don't want to go to the conventional way of having a 10 to 30 year, not 10, 30 to 50-year mortgage with the high interest rate. So what we teach you here, as you heard in the opening commercial, was alternative real estate investment. And if you don't know, again, my name is Lashley. You can call me Lady Lashley. We do offer alternative seminars on our primary platform, Primetime Home Buyers, where you can learn how to invest in tax liens, deeds, foreclosures. But the importance about this particular platform, we show you how to do your due diligence. It's not about just telling you the method of how to go to this tax lien sale or sheriff sale and talking to them, but we want to show you how to research the law, how to get prepared to mitigate certain issues that come up, how to look at the property, research to make sure the property is not condemned, understanding zoning and plat maps. We go into the detail as though no real estate school does. So please check out our website. All the information is located below. Now, phase 2. We went into now, we are getting the leader prepared. You are not only, you may only learn about economic development, apply it to your household, the concept of my kids are going to learn about how to invest their money, cultivate their skills and, things like that. And all that. We saved, we budget, we worked hard at home. Now we're moving into, we want to be the business owner. And in phase 2, we go into uplifting the community and fostering economic growth. Now that's just a bridge over to say, hey, what can I do to actually uplift my community with what I have to offer, with my brand? How can I help my brand by uplifting my community at the same time when we give you ideas of people coming together, small business owners, and having little events inside of parks for your people in your community for free. Not only do you get to network, get to know people, have fun, learn how to have friendly competition or whatever's going on, but these are the things that you can actually do, pull them together while networking. So these were the ideas that I was giving you guys. So I was like, let's bridge this first. Let's bridge this because this is going to be the same thing. We're talking about community and we're talking about client building and we're talking about uplifting our community at the same time. We can do it all together and kind of do it for free, or do it by way of unity. Does that make sense? So that moves into fostering economic growth. And I'm going to slow down because sometimes I just go, okay? That goes into fostering economic growth. Okay? When you're fostering economic growth with these concepts in your mind, now we're talking about being a leader. Now we're talking about being able to engage with the governments in our community, acting, demanding things, or how can I say, putting forth portfolios that will be more effective for programs, or how can I say that, holds more effective ideas for programs that will uplift what we actually need, not what they say we need. We need to come up with a plan. So now we're fostering the idea of you being economic leaders, community leaders by way of building your business, having a strong business profile, strong business ethic, building those relationships. Okay, we're working our way all the way up. And if you have not seen these videos, we have, and what we're going to be doing is renaming the video so you guys can kind of get an idea of what video highlight, what topic, and what interests you. You guys will be able to. We've just been pretty much saying Atlanta Economic Development Seminar 2BA. So thank you guys for just showing up. Okay, it's a little bit better with the title. So now we moved on to this part of the actual module, this part of this season of Lady Lashley here giving this free economic development program. We went into the last couple of weeks. It's leveraging access and acquisition. Beyond, or I do apologize, we went into, let's make sure that I'm doing it right. We went into coupling the ideas that we were talking about with the assets versus liabilities, and we coupled that with you starting to come up with a budget for actual business. If you don't remember that video, we put both concepts together, we kind of merge it together with assets versus liability. You need to know what you have and what you got, and you kind of use that to start your business. Then we moved on into strategic assets acquisition, leveraging assets to build business credibility. So we kind of talked about what assets do we have, as far as what assets will be liquidatable now or later, what assets will give you more leverage as far as going to talk to a lender. lender, kind of just getting prepared of the things that we want to kind of just present to the lender as well, and having this in mind. Assets are not vehicles, but we're talking about collectibles could be assets. We're talking about 401ks could be assets. Again, when I went into the lender as part of my business, I already acquired 2 pieces of land. So because I acquired land through the tax lien sale, that was considered assets for me, and it made me more lendable. So we talked about that as well. The merger concept of unlocking funds, creating a business plan to secure a grant. Now, we did not do that in detail, but we're gonna be finishing off with that, because we wanted to talk about that concept, and I already want you to have the idea that I'm gonna need some assets, how I'm gonna get assets, and we already encompassed that our portfolio is amazing. We look like a princess and a king on paper. Our savings, our bank account, we had all our records. But now we're moving on into this next, second phase, what's gonna help us be more lendable. And that's sometimes having assets, showing them that you're already coming in the game with something. We've been doing this, okay? And that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So I know I ran down a lot, y'all. That was kind of what was been happening in our first 2 sessions. If you did miss that, please go back in the playlist. And I told you guys I'm gonna be much better with renaming the playlist because a lot of people have been showing up online, and the name of the actual title is to be announced. And y'all came in here to get the work. So let me see if this is going to show properly, because sometimes when I put it in slideshow mode, it doesn't show. Yeah, it's not going to show. Yeah, that.
That's that one.
You guys, if you appreciate what I do, you can hit the like button. Do me a favor, check the Wi-Fi, make sure the Wi-Fi is good. Or maybe is it no issue? Do you see everything is good? Okay, cool. It's just this one. This one's up. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show it in this way, guys. Just bear with me because something is happening to the screen. Just a little bit. All right. So this is what we're gonna talk about. Beyond the brick and mortar. Exploring the world of alternative real estate investment. Dun, 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 dun. Now we're talking about getting with the work. Okay? And we're going to disclose some secrecy. This is my favorite part. We all like real estate, guys. Yes. Okay? Beyond the brick and mortar, it's exploring the world of alternative real estate investment. So we're talking about alternative real estate investment outside of the typical way of investing in real estate, and that is the typical mortgages. While these traditional strategies remain valuable, which is the traditional mortgage, the landscape for real estate investment is evolving with a growing appetite for alternative investments. These options offer diversification, potential higher returns, and access to a market previously unavailable to the average investor. If you guys don't know, I learned about tax liens and deeds investment through a tragedy. If y'all want to see that, go watch the video. But it turned into something beautiful. I met a lawyer while I was in the tragedy, and actually no, something else happened. It's not I met a lawyer. I met a God did it. I met a nurse who actually took a tax lien course, and she had a free pass for it, and it was like an 8-hour course for one day. And they taught us a lot, but they did not teach us our due diligence. But I learned so much, and I was like, this has to be God. I had a tragedy that dealt with this. The nurse I met, she was able to take me to her thing that she was already involved, and then it went from there, okay? As you guys know, it evolved, and I had to learn the tricks of the trade, get myself out of some hurdles, and that's why I'm here talking to you guys, because I have become an expert. So before you guys go through all of the rigmarole, I can help you guys, okay? So alternative real estate investment is looking like eye candy to people who can't get conventional mortgages, don't want the high interest rate, just feel locked out though because of the high competition. These options offer diversification, potential higher returns, and access to the market previously unavailable to the average investor. So what exactly constitute alternative real estate? Anybody? It is essentially a real estate investment that falls outside of the traditional realm of real estate and commercial property acquisition. Think outside the box, beyond the front yard, and into niche markets offering unique opportunities. These niche markets we will get into. Consider alternative real estate investments, so as we talk about the diversification of your portfolio. Now, the reason why we want you to have a diversification of your portfolio, we want you to be able to use that for leverage. When you go and try to get $100,000, $300,000 for your project. Okay? Hey, this is what we did. We took our money, we have, and put it into this, we have that. They love to see it. So reducing your portfolio resilience for traditional real estate market can buffer against market volatility, because you don't have to deal with basically owing on a mortgage versus what's the fair market value, and putting that up for collateral. By investing in alternative assets, you spread your risk across different sectors and strategies. Potentially higher return. Let's talk about it. Some alternative real estate niches offer potential for superior returns. Okay, these superior returns compared to conventional investment. When you invest in a regular home, you don't come with a return. You pay that mortgage, making sure the insurance is paid, and you make sure you're taking care of the property. Unless you actually renting that first property out, you still probably end up breaking even, and you can consider it an asset at that time as long as it's not a liability. But again, imagine having a $300,000 home that you invest only $20,000 via a deed or tax lien sale. Because sheriff sale and foreclosure sale is a little different. We're going to talk about that in the future. We still have 3 more weeks of this, but we're going to break it down, okay? One by one, but we're kind of peek-a-booing to that. You peek-a-booing for the good stuff. Please stay tuned, hit your like button. We have a lot of free information to give you. We want you guys to be successful, okay? So, potential for higher returns, because if you invest in a deed and the property is worth $230,000 and the deed is only $50,000, what is your actual return? What are we doing? $180,000. So it's a higher return. This might come with higher risk, but also the possibility of significant gain, and that's what we do. That's what I do. I help you mitigate the risk factor. That's what I do. By doing your due diligence, I'm teaching the skills that you need. Once you have it in your brain, you don't lose it. And that's what they took away from us. The valuing of education, the valuing of our mind. They made it very easy for us, so we want everything done for us, and we're losing the power of our brain power, of our critical thinking skills. So that's what we're bringing back here, okay? Because we're going to work with AI. AI is not going to work us. Does that make sense? We're going to work with AI. AI is not going to work us. So we want to lower correlations to traditional markets. Alternative assets often have a weaker correlation to the stock market and broad economics. As I said, you really have nothing to really worry about, because now you don't have to worry about your interest rate going up on your mortgage if you don't have a fixed mortgage, if you have to pay more and all types of stuff. Or if you want to refinance based on that home, now you can actually use that home and finance some money off of it without even having an original balance. Okay, people like to refinance and things. You can do that on property that you already own. Okay, now using it for collateral. So you're going to have access to unserved markets. These properties here on the tax lien deed and sheriff sale, foreclosures and sheriff sale come really faster, but they just sit on the market for a little while because people don't understand the process and they feel like it's too much work. Okay, so that leaves that a lot of room for me and you to go in there and possibly just invest through the tax lien and tax deed sale, and which give us a chance to invest with a possible up to 16 to 22% return if the homeowner pays the tax lien back within a lot of time. Or we could just go to deed method and say, hey, we went to these deed states, we're just going to buy it straight out. The deed is $10,000 straight. And the deeds kind of run like the sheriff's sale, but it depends on the state. That's why we teach you how to research law. Okay? We teach you the fundamentals. I am a teacher. I want you guys to have the keys you need to apply it to anywhere in the market. Remember that, okay? I want you to win. And it also opens you up to passive income opportunities. Like I said, if you do tax lien investment, you have a possibility to have up to 16 to 22% or 23%, depending on the giving the homeowner a little bit more time to pay their back taxes. Or you can just go help the county out and go buy the abandoned property that's been sitting in which goes to the deed sale. Where the deed is directly transferred over to you, there's no waiting period. There may be a period legally that the homeowner can try to come back. That deals with a lot of drama, a lot of fouling, a whole lot of money. And usually by the time it's at the deed process, families don't come back to get it. But that's the things we talk about in my course. That's the things we talk about in my seminar. So you can just have the mindset, you can be ready, like, okay, it's a potential this property may, they may come back for it. We teach you how to look for the owner's information and all types of stuff, making you thorough. So let's move on. Yes, deep down in the trenches. We may not be here for the 4 hours today, but I want to say thank you so much for being with us. This is the opening act to us teaching you about deed investment, foreclosure investment, tax lien investment. The next 4 or 5 weeks is what's going to focus on that. And then we're going to show you how to intertwine that in the following weeks into your business plan. Because if you don't remember, we talked about your business plan. We already analyzed the market, you did your competition, analyzation, you already know we're going to sell your stuff, how you're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. You got the structure of what your business is supposed to be like for 3 to 5 years. We talked about that in detail. You have your processes set up now, and you continue to enhance your processes. That's telling a little bit that you're ready, that this is ready to go. You just need finances and you need the people. And that's what we talked about already. So now we're move into the part of the actual business plan. Because I have a little assets too. And I'm going to take these assets and incorporate in my business. Maybe I'm going to use the facility that I have or build a facility to manufacture my product. And they're like, whoa, we need that. They're going to be the owner and the manufacturer. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This is a great investment. That's why we're adding this to the game. So other alternative real estate investment, not only just the methods of going in, but we're going to talk about certain types of investment. The world of alternative real estate is vast and varied. Here are a few popular examples. Farmland. Investment in farmland can provide stable income through crop selling, land leasing, as the global population grows. The demand for food will likely increase, making farmland a potentially lucrative long-term investment. Now, I know we've been going through a high vitality rate in agriculture and farming because of economics, but don't be afraid to acquire land. Hold it. There's certain lands that are not able to grow certain things anymore because of the change of agriculture, and you may have that land and you can sublease it to someone who found a natural mineral. You don't know, don't close yourself off. So farmland is something that you can look into as alternative investment. Timberland. Yes, what is she talking about? Find some land that has trees on it, and you can literally sell trees, legal trees, every year and a half, every 2 years as these trees grow and make money. Timberland is similar to farmland. Timberland offers potential income through harvesting timber. It also provides a stable investment option and can act as a carbon sink. You know what they're talking about. You know we need the carbon dioxide from the trees. So we help with the environment as well. Along with the environmental concerns, you get 3 birds with 1 stone. You have land, you have some assets that you can sell off of it, and you help with humanity. Okay? Yep. Alternative. I'm going to throw those actionable things out there, the things you can think about you possibly can use. And if you invest in a piece of land that's $3,000 to a deed sale, you don't know what that land has on it. Or you hold it until things are happening in the community, and it may change and the value go up. You just buy and hold. And then in your portfolio, you can use that as a base of lending. Let's go. Another thing that I want to talk about very important, because everybody over moving around, just a good idea as well. It's like vending machines, it's a good idea, to have as a side hustle. As you know, guys, I am a Hebrew woman, and I practice what the Bible says, and we should have at least 7 incomes. Even if you don't specialize in it, you better go try. You don't never depend on one thing, that's what he said. So vending machines, other things like self-storage unit, these are alternatives to real estate investment, but these are real estate investments. So if you have a piece of land and you can get someone to invest a good amount of money, maybe you can open a storage unit, okay? And that's a self-driven mechanism at this point, because, you can have AI and all this technology and just have security there. So the demand for self-storage is consistently growing and high, driving by factors like downsizing, relocation, accumulation of possessions. Investing in self-storage facility can provide a steady state of rental income, as well as if you have a lucrative business, you may need to store your stuff. So instead of paying somebody else for storage, you're already invested in something, and you can do a little shooby-dooby yourself. Put a little storage unit there, and this little piece of land or a little trailer, and you got a storage unit. Hey, start small. Okay, yeah, y'all see where my mind at. I'm always coming up with a hustle. Okay. All right, we're making our way downtown. We're on our 5th slide. We only have 8 today, but I know I have given y'all a wealth of information and also a wealth of, you can do it, you know? Next week, we're going to get into how you can do it with the direct information related to deed investment, with the direct information related to foreclosure information. And we're going to walk out, we're going to dog walk these topics. Okay. Thank you for being here. We're Lady Lashley. If you like what I do, please hit the like button. If you want to see us in person, please come down to the Adams Street Fulton County Library in Atlanta, Georgia. I am teaming up with the Fulton County Library. This is my 2nd season with them. They have allowed me to have seminars here for the general public for free with you guys. So we ask you to come and get this word and take this actionable information that we give you and apply it. We have no time to wait. Okay? Yeah. So, other alternative investments when you get land, you can think about mobile home parks, healthcare, real estate. You can rent to other places like that have healthcare facilities. I do have data centers. Shout out to AI, but we don't want to put too many of them close to our homes in the city. But if you have an area for it, that it won't affect the city's water and the electricity and the residents, you know what I'm saying? I think that that's something very important to consider, and you can make a lot of money being owners of that particular land, okay? So don't exclude data centers. I think they just need to be very, very close care of where they are placed. But we have to get in the market. Us, you, okay? You may have started with one business idea when you first started listening to me. You probably got a world of ideas, and that is great because you can always build. Also, another thing that we need in our community, the Black community, is healthcare facilities. So we want to get land and be able to get specialties within these facilities to help build back our health in our communities. So again, we have to acquire these properties to be able to do it. There is not, don't quote me, but I don't know of too many Black-owned hospitals, minority-owned hospitals. And we say that because most of the hospitals and healthcare facilities are owned by Europeans. And that means that we have basically market control by one nation. And that's no disrespect to them because they did their job. So we have to get in this market and have competition. The reason why is because we all have different ethnicities, way of living, and healthcare factors that deal with each of our nations, and we need to be able to address that on an individual level and come together. So I'm going to throw that out there because if you're in your area, you may be the business owner or the landowner that owns that property that put $1 million hospital there. And you can be just like the $1 million hospitals here and the landowners who own them now getting buku money. Okay? Does that make sense? Do you guys think that the municipality owns the street that the actual municipality is on, and in these colleges they own the land and sometimes they don't? I.e., I learned from the Utah University incident with the shooting with Charles Kirk that it's owned, that area around the hospital, college is owned by a certain family. And they rent these things out, they sell it, they sublease it to the school. Billions of dollars. We gotta think like that, guys. Every time I look at something, I kind of like, how does that apply to us? How can I use that? Okay? And I need you guys to be the same way. Respect the day. Everything counts. Now, we want to talk about alternative real estate investments that encompass possible renewable energies as we talk about. It don't only have to be data farms, it could be solar farms. Like, for instance, I have property in Maryland and I want to sublease that piece of the property to the utility company so they can put a pole there. Maybe I can get tax credits or some type of increment. And I'm still learning about the program out here, but that is using renewable energy where you have a piece of land and you have to do nothing but sublease it to a company that can use it. Real estate trust, okay? While not strictly alternative, specialized REITs focus on niche sectors like data center, timberland, and healthcare can provide exposure to these assets classes without the complexity of direct ownership. So what he's saying is that sometimes you don't even have to own this stuff. You can go into Robinhood or other platforms that this investment stock market and just invest in REITs, which is package of investor package for people who probably own a bunch of land companies or a bunch of things related to timberland or healthcare, and you can invest being a partial owner in these companies. And that's part of diversifying your portfolio, your 401k, your stock portfolio. This is part of it. But remember, when you're doing that, you're doing a little real estate too, okay? That's how much we love real estate, okay? Crowdfunding platforms. All right, these platforms allow investors to pool their resources together in large real estate projects, including alternative assets, lower minimum investment requirements. So that's what I was talking to you about earlier. The group, they were very interested in receiving information related to group projects and trust and things like that. And guess what? We actually offer a seminar about trust, that using that vehicle to put your assets in and being able to transfer those assets without the minimum transferability of liability, because you don't have to go through court or go through, probate, but as well as we teach you about not just the instrument, but the tax purposes of that too, in real time, real reality. So we went into different types of trust. We got community trust, you can have family trust, you can have so many different ones. So we had a trust seminar for you guys. So please visit www.thebuybackteam.edu, thebuybackteam.edu.com. Okay, and then you'll be able to see our seminars. These seminars are very, very good, long, and priced right. You at least have 5 hours of content for each seminar. If you take your time, you have them split up for you guys, and they're always on demand. And you can forever look at this content. So we teach you about trust. If you're a community person and you want to have a family trust, you have a community trust, this is some of the concepts that we give you, the forever knowledge that's actionable. Okay? Now, navigating the path to alternative real estate success, okay? Through due diligence, that's the most important part of it. You see, I'm very due diligent. We're going to keep talking and talking so I can beat it in your head. Understanding the specifications of the niche, the market dynamic, if you're going to go into tax lien sale, deed sale, foreclosures, or sheriff sale. Understand the dynamics of it, what laws encompass it, what are the risk factors with it, and also, most importantly, what is your initial investment criteria, okay? And most important, what will be your profit rate, okay? So research the risk and the potential reward before investing. We always tell you to get expert advice, consult with experts, real estate professionals such as me, financial advisors, your accounting, legal experts. We never tell you not to go to lawyers and talk to them about your issue to gain valuable insight and guidance. That's what I'm here for. I'm a legal nursing consultant who loves to research law. I took that knowledge from learning that and applied it to my hobby, and that was real estate. And a whole lot happened where I just was forced to have to apply law by making mistakes. And what that goes to say, after 6 years of being in the real estate market, I can help you avoid mistakes, and that's why we're talking about this, getting you prepared. I'm prepared, Susie. I'm Miss Preventable. I'm Miss Preventative. I always been a preventive nurse. I go, no, let's just do it the right way, the safe way, so we don't have to have the boo-boo and fix it, you know what I mean? Because I don't like headaches. Yeah, so I applied that to real estate, okay? So, do your due diligence is very important. Expert advice is very important. Risk management, if you see a risk factor in it, and I know you want to do it, you need property, you feel it, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Risk management is very important. Also, diversifying your investment and only allocating capital you can afford to lose. You don't, just what I'm saying, don't do that. Don't do it unless you really can afford it. Put some overtime in, save some money, and then go bang on it, guys. Look at the long-term perspective, okay? Alternative real estate investments are often liquidated. You can liquidate it. It may not be just today, but you'll be able to at least in 30 to 60 days. And require a long-term investment horizon based on it. Maybe it's worth this amount right now, but you know in a couple of years this particular area is building up. They have a college, they have a food market, all types of stuff coming. This piece of land, $2,500 now is going to be worth $10,000 a year, just because of the change. But guess what? You can gauge that as you're looking for your property. You can Google these type of things and see the vitality of the market that you're investing in, what's coming, what's not, what you want to deal with, what do you want to use the property for. Okay? So understanding regulations is a very, very important part, and that's what we highlight, understanding regulations. That's why we have a whole seminar dedicated to law. Yes, I am not a lawyer. I'll tell you now. This is for information educational purposes only. But the concept that I have learned and taking a legal nursing consulting course and just researching law and the structure of our United States and the powers of being, separation of powers, I was able to incorporate a lot of those concepts in a real estate form. So in this particular real estate seminar, law seminar, I teach you the foundations of what real estate law is, where to find it, what's the difference between federal and state law. I give you an example of what happened when the housing market crashed and they inflicted the Dodd-Frank Act to people. And they made sure that we had fair housing lending practices because of that. That was a federal thing that affected the state level. It then affected our contract laws and what was supposed to be in there. So I teach you how to look in the particular areas for the changes, as well as I went into detail to kind of teach you how to read some of these things. It's hard to read law. It's a whole other genre. But if you get a whiff of how the structure of how certain law documents are written up, you can get the key concepts you need to possibly fight a case. Yeah, represent yourself, highlight some things that you may need, or just prevent the loss. Does that make sense? So we do offer a law seminar as well. That is at www.primetimehomebuyers.buybackteam.org. You can go that way, or you can go to www.buybackteam.edu, the buybackteam.edu.com. Okay. The information should be located on the page as far as you'll see the connecting page. And I'm going to tell you this: if you don't just have seminars for you to buy off the website, just go to our sister page, this page as well. We want a world of information. Okay? So I love to teach. And I love to learn. So we're going to be finishing up this seminar with this. Alternative real estate investment are no longer fringe concepts. They represent a growing trend in the real estate market, driven by the desire of diversity, higher returns, and access to unique opportunities. By understanding these niches of these less controversial or conservative options and approaching them with informed caution, your due diligence, I put the teacher glasses on you, informed caution, I do apologize, investing can potentially unlock new avenues for wealth creating and building a more resilient, diverse portfolio. Again, that portfolio is something that you can use to help enhance your business plan to be more lendable. All we're trying to do here is make you more lendable when they see you on paper, you are a student. You look like Buddha on the paper, no matter what else is going on. That's how I want your portfolio to look, just like mine. I said I look like a little angel on my paperwork. I'm not a bad girl, but I just know when they look at it, like this person's gonna try to be perfect. This is just nice. Who is this? Who is this person? Ashley. And I come in there like, hey. They're like, uh-oh. I'm just playing, y'all. Let's finish off with this. So consider stepping outside the traditional box and exploring the exciting alternative world of real estate investing. You might just find your next lucrative opportunity. So again, this is an overflow into our third module of our economic development seminar that we host here at the Fulton County Adams Street Library location for free, 2 o'clock every Wednesday. Come on down, meet me in person, interact, ask questions, because we're going to be starting the next series again in January, I believe. But we're going to get through these next couple of weeks where we're going to finish the actual now module 3 where we're getting into real estate alternative, and then we're going to flow into another part where we're going to basically make sure that you're able to construct a full business plan with the information I gave you, and I'm going to give you some templates and layout business plans that you can use. The main part of the business plan that I wanted to help you with is not your business plan, like your objective, things like that. They talk about all that stuff all the time. I'm talking about market analyzation, getting prepared financially, fixing your books, knowing what a profit and loss statement is, constantly doing that and updating your profit and loss statement, if you're doing it manually, if you're doing it online. I was talking about when we're always talking about doing your due diligence, being prepared, so when you anything hit, you could just be like, boom, 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 I'm done, I got everything. I was already ready. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for being with us today. I also want to say thank you for my cameraman for helping me so much as we wrap up today. So if you like what you heard, please hit the like button. And you will probably do the commercial. Don't worry. Sign off. Have a good day, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Please hit the like button.